Well, when you report fake news, when you report fake news, which CNN does a lot, you are the enemy of the people. Go ahead.
I think we're back.
Over the course...
That was quick. That was a quick reboot situation. Let's see if it worked with Skype. Hopefully you're all still here. That'd be cool. Applications. Skype 3. Sometimes you just need to reboot.
We back?
Dudes. Let's see.
We're still spinning around over here.
Give it a minute. Let her do its best.
Over the course of the last several days of the...
Okay, she's up. If anybody could give me a call, I suppose. It is totally unacceptable, by the way.
It's a disgrace.
It's a total disgrace. But it says 0 people watching right now. I don't really understand that because it says we're live.
Maybe 0 people are watching. You know.
That could be. Skype is open, and I gotta go to on. Okay.
You like James McCartney?
No. Jack Riddle.
Hey, Tim. How you doing, man?
Good, man. How are you?
Yeah, pretty good. Calling you from Berlin again. Hey, I've got a question if we can kick right on into it.
Yeah, I'm ready.
A while ago, you went and saw Queen, and you kind of teased the audience with a bit of a story around it. I think I saw a picture of you and Brian May. I don't know if you've told that story yet, but would you mind sharing it with the group?
I feel like I did share that back. Hold on, I just want to do one twice so people know we're back on. I don't remember if I told it. I just know I got a. Yeah, I did. I'm pretty sure I told it. I do have a funny. I do have a funny story to tell you though, Doug.
Please.
And, but let me. It is 9:30, and I'm supposed to get this call. Let me see if it's coming in. This is another problem. I don't know how to.
Is he gonna Skype?
That's what he said. He was gonna Skype. Fucking A! It's still. It's like. It's not, it says it's locked up.
Oh boy, what are we gonna do?
I need solutions now. I need real-time solutions.
Can you go back to Facebook and do that whole thing?
No, because that was still with Skype.
We can listen to James McCartney.
Yeah. I'm going to do something controversial.
What are you going to do, Tim?
I'm going to open the newer version of Skype and see if we can...
Maybe just deal with the dings and the dongs, you know? Remember those? Tim, people tell me like all the time like that they love office hours, and I'm like...
Why?
I'm like, really? That's great.
Okay, I got to write a code down here because I'm putting in 907-1971.
I wish I had something to do. Phil, I need to have a...
No, I don't want to enter a password. Just... You motherfuckers! You cunts! I don't want a code. I just want to sign into this goddamn thing. 6277826. And now it's saying add a password.
You know what you could do, Tim, is you could call people from Google Voice. That's what I've been doing on my podcast.
Oh, really? Well, but
have them send their numbers and you just call them. If worse comes to worse, we got an hour to fill.
We're good. We're good. All right. But
are we back online here?
This is not me. This is not the right account.
Well, tell people to go to that one.
No, I'm not going to do that.
Is this your family one?
It's my family account. It's my private account. Use another account. All right, here we go.
What is it, Tim?
The real Tim Heidecker. Okay. And now I have to find the password. Guys, we're getting there. Trust me. You just have to be patient with me. Just go look at the internet. I mean, you're right. If you're watching the show, you're looking at the internet right now. Oh. And I'm just going to copy this and go back here. And we are loading it through the new software. And let's see if this makes a difference. Now, I think we're going to be okay. So let's see. But this is the problem. Clint?
I'm here.
What's going on?
How you doing?
Pretty good. I think we just need to make sure we're not going to get the bings and the bongs, but if we do, we get the bings and the bongs.
We're going to have to deal with those bings and bongs.
So, how are you doing? What's going on?
How you doing? Decent. I'm not sure if you've heard about there's like shootings in the Thousand Oaks area.
Yes.
And I go to Pepperdine, it's kind of close, but kind of looking at that, but
it's a nightmare. It's a horrible, horrible nightmare hell world we live in. That's what I've been saying. There's no evidence to the contrary.
Well, on the bright side, though, I was able to share your big whale man video on Twitter, so that was a great.
I saw that. Listen, if I buried in my Twitter, I retweeted it. That Marvel has released my outtakes from the Ant-Man 2 movie.
Oh, they have?
Yeah. And I guess you could find it, Doug, if you want to play it. But it's, I guess, I don't know how you'd search for it. Whale Man.
They could have used at least one bit. I mean, that was some good ramp in there.
There was some good shit. All right, let me run through some calls to see if we can get a flow going. Okay, Clint?
Okay, can I ask you one question, though?
Yes.
Real quick. So you mentioned on the H3 podcast one time about how you're listening to the Dana Carvey, Howard Stern thing. You said that there was an SNL sketch that got you into comedy. Which sketch was that?
I see. Do you hear this? Are you playing that, or is that you?
I'm not playing.
Okay, let's pretend Doug's playing these. Maybe Doug, if you could figure out how to turn those beats.
You want me to put like a layer of like atmosphere over it, so it kind of.
Oh, how about this? Reactions. Ooh. Turn off reactions. Turn off all these. Ooh. Turn off everything. Right. By the way, can anyone hear the caller out there? That would be another question.
Besides me.
Yeah, we can hear it. So good. All right, I gotta go.
Okay. Oh, the SNL question?
Yeah, I don't know. I can't think of anything. I'm too frazzled. It's too hard.
And a little turned on.
Okay. How about Tim Thursday? We've got Tim Carrero calling. Tim?
Tim, you're on live on Office Hours.
Oh, wait a minute. Gotta hang up on Clint.
Oh, jeez Louise.
What a disgrace.
This is a disgrace.
Look at it. It's fully frozen again. Even with... No, it says it's not, but...
Maybe you're being hacked.
Please hack me. Get me in the hacking scene. How are we supposed to prepare for this?
I don't know, Tim.
Like, you see what I'm doing here, Doug, right? Like,
yeah,
it's
what
insane.
Tim is doing is he's clicking on hang up and he's clicking on pick up the phone, and it's not doing anything. It's non-reactive.
Okay, now it finally quit. What do you think, Doug?
Tell you
the
what,
computer expert.
If you guys want, how about this? Ask me a question on Facebook or Twitter at Doug Pound, and I'll just ask Tim, and I'll be like, you can speak through me. I'll be the mouthpiece. How about that?
Okay. I'm sorry. I bet you this needle drop thinks I'm doing some kind of troll on him or something, but this is the real nightmare scenario that we sometimes find ourselves in, where Skype is just... holy shit. I mean, I can't even close Skype. I got to go to force quit now?
You got to force quit? Come on.
Force quit on Skype.
Let me go to Twitter here, see if anyone's... At me on Twitter, and I'll get the questions right to Tim Heidecker in real time. And I will ask your question.
I love doing this show when it works.
At me on Twitter. At me on Twitter. Why don't you get someone in here?
Who? Who wants to come in?
Some intern, I don't know, someone's expert.
Is this Liner Petter?
Hey, I didn't mean to crash your session there earlier. You know I didn't.
I understand. It's not your fault. Don't beat yourself up about this. What's going on, man?
Man, every time it seems like the show's about to start and
I know.
we could talk. Are people just calling in and going silent? Is there a big prank being held?
Are you here?
Caller, are you there? Tim, okay, I got some questions.
It's so bad.
I got a call this time, eh?
What do you want?
Oh, I have a lot of things I gotta say to you.
Okay. All right. Just chill out and talk to me.
Sounds like a troll. He's laughing.
What's the matter, dude? Oh, he's hot. That was working for weeks.
Download the older Skype.
That was what I was doing. That worked for weeks.
Am I MC Chris? No, I'm not. That's one question that came in.
Really? People, that's an old...
start off with something.
That's an old thing that you used to get, right?
I don't know. He's a good rapper. What do you want me to...
But do you look like him or something?
No.
Well, then what's the confusion there?
Will you guys ever get Greg on the show? That's a question.
I don't think he has any
that?
interest in doing this.
Why doesn't Tim use Discord anymore?
Because it was too exclusion. It was too exclusive or something. You know, it felt like it people didn't know how to use it, and it just felt too small of a world that I was entering.
Too indie of a label.
Too indie. Yeah. It's Discord.
Yeah, Ian MacKay.
Do you know? I just heard that Discord released all of their entire catalog up on, whatchamacallit?
Apple Music.
No, Bandcamp for free.
That's very.
I wouldn't mind hearing some of
very
that.
Discord. I'll look it up.
This is
Fugazi.
Jeremy Devine calling in.
Hey, Tim, how's it going?
Ian
And
MacKay.
so,
You got me?
as
Hello?
best I can tell, because we've had about several months of things working pretty smoothly, I stupidly updated my operating software here to...
Maybe you got to have a computer that stays here. It's not your personal.
This stays here. This is
not
my
your
office
personal
hours
top.
dedicated computer. And so for whatever reason, it does not go well with Skype.
You know that
and
stupid
I don't
thing
know what to
every
do.
day. It's like, do you want to update? And then there's no option for. You know that thing that comes in the upper right? Do you get that? It says
Yeah.
remind me tomorrow. I
always say remind me tomorrow.
It's like an endless remind me tomorrow. It's like a Cinco product where you can't say
Remind me tomorrow.
you can't like turn it off.
Remind me tomorrow. Well, maybe Anthony
Minor threat, take
Fantano.
one. Once again.
Hey, Don, stop singing along with it. One bag, a little faster. Faster.
Anthony Fantano is a no-show. I've been writing him on DM. Angelo?
How you doing? Hello?
Angelo, you there?
Jim?
Hey.
Jim, how you doing? I'm calling from Brisbane.
Hey, hello. Are you doing a fake accident? Accent?
An accident? Oh, hold on. I'm crashing the car.
Okay. Good stuff.
I saw your purple commercials.
You know, like...
Do you have a question
Okay.
from Brisbane?
Wait a minute.
Oh, yeah.
Anthony's trying
I
to...
didn't know
Anthony
purple
says he's
supported
trying to call
pedophiles
in.
like Eric Wareheim. What's up with that?
Hold on. I'm just...
Tim, he is.
Pedophiles like Eric Wareheim? I can't believe purple mattresses supports them.
Uh-huh.
Well,
I'm gonna get Anthony on the call. Then we can have an actual show. But
all right, Tim.
I don't know.
All right, Tim. Good on you. Good on you, cunt. All right, boy.
Doug,
I'll go back to Twitter and we'll ask some questions.
Good on you.
Back to the questions. We got
Good on you,
7
mate.
new coming in.
Good on you, cunt.
Hi, Doug. Are you in with Tim
Good on you,
right now
cunt.
in real time? I bought a Merry Friggin' Christmas on DVD, but I've not watched it yet.
Okay, let me try doing it this way. I'm going to call him. Oh, fucking A. Restarting Skype for, I believe, the 10th time. Mike, by the way, what's his name? The guy from Microsoft, Microsoft.
Bill Gates.
Bill Gates is sitting there trying to get toilets going. He's working on toilets. Meanwhile, his Skype don't work. I'm gonna try to make a call to the needle drop.
Let's see here. Come on, ask some questions on Twitter that are reasonable. Ask Timmy what his favorite episode of Stella is. My friends and myself want to know.
I have no idea. I mean, how can I focus on that?
I'm just trying to move the show along with some questions from the listeners.
I know, but help me, Doug.
I'm helping.
I'm about to literally cry.
You should do anything except Skype, Rick says.
I know.
It's bad software and prone to many attacks.
But
Wouldn't be
what else
surprised
can
if
I
you guys
use?
are under attack. He thinks we're under attack.
I think we might be under attack.
Well, what should we use then, Rick?
Add people or phone numbers. I'm trying to add this. Holy shit.
What? Did you just get hacked?
No.
Is this a bit that dude's an alt-right piece of shit? Oh, that last caller? Probably.
Yeah, he was. I heard what he was doing. I can't see the screen to call this guy because other people are like, you see what happens?
Oh, yeah.
Like,
the calls come up and they cover each other. Who's this, Anthony Fantano? That's his name, right, Tim?
Yeah. I'm trying to add him on Skype so I can talk to him. Oh, my fucking God. Like, what, you know what I mean? Like, add people or phone numbers, and I'm putting in his goddamn name. Like, how am I supposed to make a new call? Can you help me, please, Doug?
What do you want me to do?
I want to get
Can we
this
just call
guy
him on the
line.
phone? Call him on, Tim, call him on Google Voice.
Okay, how do I do that?
Go to your Gmail.
Go to my Gmail.
Get his actual phone number. You sure
Okay.
you want to quit out of that page? Do a new
Oh, shit.
Do a new tab. You got Google Voice? I hope for Christ's sake you have it.
Okay, Gmail.
Oh my God.
I mean, how, you know what I mean? How am I supposed to, go ahead.
You know, people, if you want, you can listen to the Poundcast. We don't do this kind of
Hey, that's-
technicals. We got to get you on the Poundcast. That would be my dream guest. Let's see.
Okay, so where do I go from here? I can't. Oh, Skype quit unexpectedly. Cool.
Press that phone right there.
Okay.
Make a call. Yeah, just type.
But I don't have a. He's not giving me a number now. Woohoo!
Fantano, please.
Just give me a number to call. I'm not going to give it out. I'm not going to dox you.
Tim, what is your favorite non-Rick Alverson movie of the decade? Just top.
How do you expect me to focus on that?
I'm trying to move the show along with some content.
I understand that.
Yeah. I'll answer. For myself,
Okay.
probably that Schumer movie. Hey, let's get Joe in here.
Joe Staken, bring him in.
Come in here,
Okay,
Joe.
hold on. I got a number. I'm going to try it here. I'm not giving it out. Doug, focus with me. 02.
Let's get a quick interview with Joe Staken. Joe, come on. Hey, can you grab your dog and we could look at your dog for a second? Joe has has a one-armed dog.
Oh, we got something going here.
Hello.
Anthony,
Hello.
can you hear me?
Yes, I can. What's going on?
Oh, thank
All right.
God! I am
Thanks, Joe.
I am in such a nightmare scenario here on our show.
I can see.
You can see, and I apologize. Many things to apologize to you for, but let me start by saying that for the past few months, I've had this smooth sailing show where it's relatively smooth sailing, but I've been using Skype to have people call, and then we talk about whatever. And for some reason today, it's just gone all to hell, and it's like it's made for a terrible, terrible show.
Freddie Mercury's in retrograde.
That's Doug Lucenhop here. Anthony, do you know Doug Lucenhop?
Yes, Doug Pound.
Doug Pound, DJ Doug Pound.
Hi, Anthony.
Hey, what's going on?
All right, it is. And I've been doing this show for a couple years now, and it's been ups and downs. I'm doing it all by myself, no help. And I'm sure you're in the same boat because you produce a show every day, or how many days a week do you produce a show?
I'm putting up reviews and content pretty much every day of the week, every weekday.
And is it just you doing it, or do you have a squad? Do you have assistants, or do you have anybody helping?
Used to do it totally by myself, but I have a little squad. I have a back end guy who's also like my managing editor, who just kind of makes sure that the videos are accurate and stuff. And then on top of that, I have another person who does a little bit of editing for me on the side too. So we're a little team.
Okay. Well, let's get into it. You last week on this show, which was running very smooth, by the way. It was a wonderful show, full of lots of diverse subjects, and we were talking about all kinds of things. We don't have to go through all the details of it, but I got a caller who needled me into, no pun intended, needled me into sort of a debate about people that don't particularly like my music. He brought you up. I reacted like a caged animal who's been beaten his whole life by critics and by all sorts of people, and I lashed out. I lashed out at you personally. And it was my first reaction. And with any comedy, there's always a little bit of truth in it, but I regretted it later, certainly later in the day. And I think when I saw your reaction and your DM to me, I felt a little guilty that I had crossed a line of good taste and of geniality. And Doug's making lion sound effects, which is not that great, to be honest with you. So we exchanged a few words offline, I think, or online, whatever, privately. Now, do you accept my apology, and do you understand where I was coming from? Two different questions, honestly.
Yeah, look, here's the thing. I myself have, done that very same thing. I am putting up reviews all the time that people don't really agree with, and of course, that results in a lot of people who are pissed off, and sometimes I'm getting it at all ends on the internet, and I do the same thing. I've done the same thing. I've been literally guilty of the same thing in the past 48 hours. It is what it is, and I sort of understood in the context of what you were doing. That you were mostly lashing out at the troll who was kind of just obviously calling in to just get in your craw. However, I had been watching you for a really long time. And following your stuff for a really long time, and really I wasn't so much pissed off about what you were saying as much as it was just really odd to be like, wow, this person who, in college I used to love this man's content. Yeah. And now he's just riffing on me on the internet. So
first of all,
really kind of weird.
You set me up with the needle drop name. It's very quick for my dumb brain to go right to needle dick. That didn't take a lot of creativity on my part.
You're not even the first person.
Yeah, I'm sure. What are you doing, Doug? You're ruining the show with your sound. What is this? I'm sorry, Doug's playing a.
Well, you complain about not enough drops.
Yeah, but you're just
Vic is better. Vic's the best.
You're just playing
playing people arguing.
Anyways, Anthony. You're playing. Doug's playing the. I'd love a review of this show from you, by the way. Jeez, 1 out of 10.
A light feathery one.
But you're a controversial person, as you know. I think first of all, the you tweeted, and then I got like an avalanche of your followers or fans or whatever who really came at me hard. And then when I said that I would be talking to you today, there was a lot of people from on the other side of that coming and saying how disappointed they were that I would be talking to you. And frankly, I don't even understand why that would be. I don't think there's anything wrong with having a conversation with just about anybody. But do you find yourself to be a controversial person on the internet? I guess partly just because you have so many opinions.
You say the alt-right.
No, personally, I don't really think I'm controversial. I guess if you really hate like what I say about certain records, but honestly, like there aren't really many in terms of reviews where I try to make it personal. At the end of the day, it's like really about the music and whether or not I enjoy it, and that's it. There are some people, like yourself. I put a lot of political opinions out there onto the internet too. And of course, like, I know you're not like the most far left guy or the most far right guy. And, unfortunately, like when you put anything out there onto the internet, there are going to be people who are sort of from both of those sides sort of coming at you and kind of like disavowing you or asserting that you're like the worst person on the planet Earth and so on and so forth. So there are some people who would...
Sorry, go ahead. Finish your thought.
Oh, there are some people who, sort of think I'm more controversial than I think I really am for my Bernie bro style politics. But outside of that, no, I think any sort of categorization of me as being like controversial outside of just just doing some music reviews people disagree with is a little BS.
So how did you get us? I mean, this isn't a gotcha question, but what is it? Because I just like kind of briefly reviewed your career on like Wikipedia and stuff. How did you get sort of mixed up in this alt-right situation? Or do you find that your audience tends to cross over into that group of people or something? Because I do tend to like feel the same tone from some of your sort of adamant supporters that I feel from some of these other guys with the, Pepe icons in their name, in their profile.
There are some people in my audience who sort of hang out on the 4chan boards. And over the years, I've sort of like jokingly pushed back at those people and, I've kind of like made fun of them on the internet and stuff. And they like a lot of the reviews that I put out. So they've been following me for a while. So I just try not to
and it tends to get
feathers or whatever.
Right.
And at one point I was running a comedy channel where I was making these meme review type videos. Unfortunately, another publication out there decided that they would take it upon themselves to try to eliminate their competition in a way and try to,
ruin you,
categorize or label my videos as being some kind of extremist type of humor. When in reality, I mean, honestly, a lot of what you and Eric did back in the day, like inspired a lot of the weird editing and the green screen stuff I was doing and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
Now, thankfully, there was a bit of a behind the scenes, somewhat legal to do about the whole thing. And I came out ahead in it. And,
good for you.
And the article is down now because there wasn't any validity to it. So.
Yeah, dude, it is. I mean, it is weird when you find that you do have these fans out there, supporters. I mean, I've had to deal with this for years now. That you were like, I don't want to have anything to do with you, man. Like, I'm sorry that you feel a connection to what I do, but you are so far removed from people in my life and people that I want to be around. It's a little, and I mean, because I've been so outspoken about the way I think, about the world and stuff. I just you have these young people your age and younger who kind of grew up on my stuff, being like, "Hey, man, I'm disappointed. I thought you were one of us." And I'm like, "When? Why?" In any like and then you look at their tweets and there's all this like anti-Semitic stuff and all this like anti-gay stuff, and it's like that's so different and so removed from the kind of people, the culture that I'm surrounding myself in. And I don't know. It's just, do you find like a weird disconnect with those people, and what are we going to do about it, Anthony?
Honestly, I get the same experience in terms of, and it's not even really just with them, but just across the political spectrum. You're talking about political views that you find heinous and political views that maybe you slightly disagree with, but you don't find all that heinous. But I have found personally across the board, at any point when I have voiced my own political opinions, whether it be somebody who is, somebody who's alt-right, somebody who's a communist, somebody who's, I don't know what, some kind of anarcho-capitalist, some other ridiculous shit.
Yeah.
Whenever I voice my own stuff, their initial reaction is always, oh, man, I thought you thought the same exact thing that I did. And it's like, I don't know, I make music reviews. I made like some tongue-in-cheek, ironic videos where I ironically, much sort of in the way that you ironically review movies, I ironically review memes, like internet memes.
Right.
After watching that content, how could you glean from any of that, whatever my political opinion is? You know what I mean? And honestly, I don't really know if there's anything that you can do about it, other than just from there on out make content that is only politically, ideologically charged. That I guess what's sort of baked into it is this rejection of whatever people you don't like or don't want watching it. But
you're going to be you're always going to be disappointing somebody, as long as you're kind of playing to if you have an audience, there's going to be people in that audience that are not going to like 100% of things you say.
Yeah. Listen, these some of these same people, like, they watch me review music created by or written by like these very same groups of people who they deride on the internet. You know what I mean? So it's like where's the disconnect there? Like if let's say if somebody who's racist or far right or whatever, if someone like, let's just say for an example, Kendrick Lamar can't stop people like that from listening to his music, what fucking hope do you or I have?
Right.
You know what I mean? Right. So, I know probably ideologically it's a bit of a stretch as an example, but you know what I'm getting at.
I do. So tell me a little bit about your process. Now you have to review. I'm going to do a real interview.
I want to ask a few questions.
Okay, Doug wants to chime in after I was going to ask an interesting question.
I did get a sense that Doug watched my videos when you were going off a little bit, or has. I
have watched a few. Like if I like.
Doug is my better angel over my left shoulder here. He is my conscience, and when I'm seeing red and I want to throw my coffee at the wall, Doug is here to kind of be the voice of reason, I believe.
Yeah.
And so, anyways, Doug, the floor is yours.
I've seen some of your reviews, and you say you review maybe 5 albums a week. How do you? How many spins do you give an album before you review it?
Well, do you understand that I was just going to say what your process? I was going the same damn road.
Well, I was getting more specific.
Go ahead.
I think I really try to average it to 5 to 7 listens for a record, but it can vary depending on how familiar I am with that artist's discography, the genre of music that they're in, or if the album is short or long. You know what I mean? If it's a longer record, like a lot of artists putting out like 90-minute long records these days, unfortunately, it's a lot to process. So sometimes I might need to throw an extra listen or two in there just to kind of like get through that extra hump of material.
Are you writing down? Are you like sitting there just staring at a wall, listening to music, writing down notes about the album with headphones on?
That is how sometimes it goes. Yeah,
like do you do anything?
Sometimes I'm at the gym or running, but I'm always like trying to process the record at some point. I'll try to give it a listening session or two where I am maybe, like I said, at the gym or running or doing something else where it's a bit more of a casual setting and I'm not really kind of diving into the nitty gritty, but just trying to get a taste of whatever the aesthetic or the style or the surface level, sound of the album is. And then I, will try to listen a little bit more intently, sort of like in that scene that you just described. Try to write down notes, write down details, write down what's happening on the album.
Is your love of music a curse because now you can't listen to music for enjoyment anymore?
No, I mean, honestly, I enjoy new music. I enjoy hearing new things, whether they're brand new or old. I like kind of hearing things that are on the cutting edge. I like hearing things that are different. I like hearing even trendy stuff these days. Back in the day, like hip hop, and not hip hop, but high school and college, I absolutely hated and despised a lot of pop music. I was super into underground music and punk and so on and so forth.
Now, what's an underrated?
But my taste and enjoyment in pop, I think, has grown a lot more as an adult, and as I've had to listen to a wider variety of stuff. And while I can't exactly sit down with all the albums that I used to listen to when I was 16 or 18 or 22 for days and days and days on end. I personally am really excited to listen to new music all the time. And, at least every week or so, I'm finding something that I love or something that I think is great. And, it's just really
do you think
gratifying to be able to share that with people.
Do you have a broad love and for genres, or because do you are you where are you at with for example, how about I name some artists and you say I can't say I'm a fan.
Yeah. Me personally, I do have my blind spots, and I do have, certain things that are maybe a little bit so obscure that I wouldn't necessarily jump at the chance to cover it. Like, I don't know, some field recording type shit. And I'm not exactly a classical buff or anything, but as far as popular music genres go, whether we're talking rock, pop, hip hop, electronic music, folk music, some jazz records here and there, I'm typically down.
Do you have a favorite album or group? What's your top 3 artists?
Well, I was looking online, and he said there's a few that got 10 out of 10. And
yeah, there's a handful of records.
One was this Death Grips record.
10 years that I've been reviewing, I've given it 10 to.
One of them was this Death Grips that I was shitting on last week. But
Death Grips is not that weird to me. However, last year I didn't give it a 10 out of 10, but I gave Album of the Year to your dude Josh Tillman.
Oh, really? His last record.
Yeah, the pure comedy. I gave that Album of the Year.
That is a remarkable record. What did you think of his cover of my song "Trump's Private Pilot"?
I didn't hear that cover.
Excuse me?
No, I didn't hear that
really?
cover.
It's on my last album, "Too Dumb for Suicide."
Okay, I gotta give it a shot. But as you know, there are some songs of yours that I've been hearing and talking about for a little while now, and there are some standouts for me. I've already told you I love that Mar-a-Lago song.
Right. Yeah. I mean
a funny kind of Beach Boysy kind of esque twist to it that I think is really cool.
Did you hear my latest song, the Ballad of the Insel Man?
Yes, I did. I thought the lyrics on that were pretty funny.
But you didn't care for the tune and the production?
I think my biggest critique of a lot of your stuff consistently has more to do with just instrumental presentation and stuff. It does tend to feel a little raw and a little bare sometimes.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
I think that song would have worked really well with a piano.
Well, it is a piano. It is a piano. A piano is the lead instrument on that record.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry, I got mixed up there.
You have to learn what the instruments are to understand what they sound like. I'm just kidding. I mean, partly.
Sorry, I'm fucking up there, Tim.
Partly the reason maybe is because I'm dashing these songs off sort of like memos from the front lines, Oh, this is Josh Tillman. Can you hear Doug? Or probably not. You probably can't hear his computer.
He's called Father John Misty.
No, he's not going to be able to hear that. So, but I mean, partly, and listen, I will, after I say this, I will move on from defending my own work because I don't think that's very interesting to hear. And I don't think that's...
And honestly, I don't really think there's much to have to defend because I don't think there's really a big attack.
No, I agree. No, I agree. I agree.
While I do have some, gripes with how raw the production can be sometimes, I do get the sense that it's really more about the message and what you're trying to get across as far as just what you're saying.
I mean, but
it does seem like you are putting a lot of thought into what you're saying in the track. And, I could see with a bigger instrumental presentation, you could do something on the level of a dark comedy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Pure comedy. Yeah.
Thematically, it's like you're going in that direction almost.
Right.
I mean, I know you've been writing songs like this for a while, but just to kind of a frame of reference.
Well, yes, like I said, just a quick defense of what you're talking about, the sonics of it all, is that, I'm doing it myself. I'm not working with a big team of producers in a studio. I'm doing it in my own home studio to the best of my abilities. I happen to like the kind of low, the sort of 70s warm vibe that I think some of the songs get. I realize it's like a retro sound, but then I think there's an interesting problem happening because in music production, we have the capacity to kind of make any sound we want. It's kind of, you can dial in any vibe, any era, any microphone, any compressor sound, any instrument. We can do anything.
Just get the plug-in.
Get the plug-in. And my tastes tend to be from the 70s, from Warren Zevon, Randy Newman, Paul Simon, and it's not that hard to like dial in that particular quality, although I could do it better with a little bit more of a professional environment. But at the same time, I don't want to embrace a modern sound because it's not the kind of music I really like to listen to. But it almost does feel like I'm emulating a retro vibe that also isn't necessarily true to the moment. But at the same time, I'm just doing what I like, what sounds good to me, and what I enjoy to do, and trying to get some of those sounds and some of that mood through the tools that I have. But I understand, you know what I mean?
It's clearly like a project of passion,
Yeah.
And maybe that caller was just upset.
Have you listened to any, just for an example, for any Ariel Pink?
Doug, you're more of that guy, right? I mean,
I love Ariel Pink.
Yeah,
I think he's.
I don't know it that much.
He's the best.
I mean, Ariel, I would use him as an example who, really stylistically, pulling from those very same eras that you are, like aesthetically and sonically, but he goes about kind of recreating them in a really interesting and unique way. And we're talking about a guy who, records to tape, to kind of get the tape sound, but then he'll sort of do tons of crazy shit with, the recordings that he's getting out of that. And he writes a lot of retro tracks too, but he does it in a somewhat tongue-in-cheek and clever way. I think, if that's the kind of sound
too much
that you
reverb
like,
for
you might
Tim.
enjoy him.
Well, the problem I have, I think, with him and a lot of artists that are contemporaries or people younger than me, is that I find that the lyrics tend to be like buried in production and sometimes too hard to discern and not as straightforward. And the like I keep I'll bring up Randy Newman over and over again, but the experience of listening to a Randy Newman record or a Randy Newman song is to be told a story from his point, from not necessarily his perspective, but a character's perspective. And the forefront of that track then has got to be the vocal and the lyric, and making it fairly clear what everything is about and who everybody is, and you know what I mean. So
yeah,
I feel like that gets a little lost. I mean, and Josh Tillman, I think, does that very.
On the one.
Yeah, and Josh Tillman does that, I think, very well. Where
he does it really well.
I think I do it very well.
Mountain Goats at all? Do you listen to the Mountain Goats, John Darnielle?
I can't. I'm not a fan, but I like them.
That's
but
fine.
But he does a similar thing. He's a storyteller. And I guess that's the genre, or that's the kind of arena that I'm in with what I'm trying to write. So, anyways, I appreciate you reaching out to me the other day. And what are you doing?
The goats. The mountain
He's
goats.
playing sounds of goats. This is a horrible show. And
what can I do for you?
all right, listen, Anthony. I know you've got to get back to your judge's bench.
Yeah. Well, thanks for having me on, guys.
All right, take care. All the best.
Have a good one.
Bye.
Bye.
I don't know. I thought that. I don't know what everybody's all upset about with this guy. You seem kind of normal, right, Doug? What is that?
Goats are just screaming.
Let me try to open Skype again, see if we can get another call. Imagine listening to this as like a podcast later today. Grant, are you there?
Yes, I am. Hello.
I'm good. How are you?
Hey.
What's going on?
Very excited to get the call.
How can I help you today? Did you listen to my interview with Anthony?
I'm a long-time first-time, so there's so many things to ask about and to talk about. But I was thinking we could talk about voting.
Okay, voting. Everybody go out and vote tomorrow. Wait a minute. The election was Tuesday?
It was Tuesday, and it was my first ever election. I did it in California, midterm elections.
Oh, nice.
Huge ballot. Never knew it was so big.
It's very complicated.
It's a long one.
It's a lot of work.
It's a fat boy.
It's a lot of work. I did my research ahead of time. I printed out a voter guide and made my selects and went there.
Even
and just
for all that judiciary stuff? Did you know what that even is?
Yeah, I mean, I looked into that, and basically I just took the advice of the LA Times on some things, not on everything. On some things like that, they just said, listen, everybody that's a judge now is doing a pretty good job, so just keep them in. So they just voted yes for 11. And they had some recommendations for some people, so I just went with that. What am I going to do?
Democratic Socialists of America also has a really helpful guide for that sort of thing.
Yes.
But this is my issue, Tim. Okay, all over the social media, all over my Facebook, it's go vote, go vote. We don't care who it's for. Just vote. Get out there and vote. And I think that's a real problem because voting doesn't solve shit. You wake up the next morning and it's all happening. You know, Acosta, Trump, you vote and it doesn't change shit.
Well,
so I think
it does change. Hey, excuse me.
You might as well. But let's focus on the bigger issues.
What could the big, I mean, are you okay?
Yes, raising consciousness, Tim. It's raising consciousness. We have enough food out here for everyone. We just got to distribute it. We just got to raise minds.
I love your passion. There are real consequences to voting.
Ed Grimley on the show here?
There are real consequences to voting. We flipped the
There
House.
are tiny fractional microscopic chance that it could come down to your vote to actually have a practical
That's
consequence.
not true.
And
That's not true.
Tiny fractional, tiny.
Well, what do you want to do? What do you want to do? Not vote?
Jesus.
Just don't vote then. I don't care.
Then everyone gets mad at me on Facebook, but I won't. I'm a white man. White men shouldn't vote.
Well, that's something to consider. By the way, these guys are what this white guy from the Marines is the guy up here in Thousand Oaks that went in there and shot 11 people, killed them. Maybe we should just chill out with letting these white guys have guns for a few years. Study the issue. We are a menace to society. Forget the caravans. Forget the
I
ISIS.
don't understand what this guy is trying to. What is your solution? Don't vote and then do what?
Yeah,
Don't vote. No minorities in prison.
All right, you're just trolling me, man. You're just.
That's what I really believe. It's what I really believe.
All right.
Don't vote. No minorities in prison.
Yes. Thanks for the call.
Okay. George. Hello, George.
Do you know why I'm playing Tiny Tim?
Because I got a little tiny dick?
Well, no, he was yelling tiny over and
Oh,
over.
okay. Hello, George.
Your name is Tim.
Well, we did get our call in with Anthony. Mark?
Yo!
Hey!
Can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear.
Tim.
What's up, Mark Splash?
Nice to talk.
Did you enjoy that interview I did and Doug helped me with?
Oh, which one?
With Anthony.
With Anthony, who you just talked to a second ago, or from before?
No, the musician, the music review,
God.
Anthony Fantano.
Oh, the music review guy. Okay. Yeah, I agree totally that music is about a message, and it's about.
Well, it's not always about a message.
I personally think, I don't listen to music to listen to the lyrics. Like, everyone listens to it their own way. I listen to music. I like music when it's in another language, even. It's more abstract.
I like that stuff
too. I do
too.
think when there's a story, it helps. When there's a clear, like, this can relate to me. I can relate to what this guy's saying clearly. He's coming at me directly, and I get it. you know.
All right.
I mean,
Mark, do you
I
have a
listen to all kinds of
specific
music
question?
too, don't
Did you have a
get me wrong,
specific
but-
reason to call in?
Yes, I want to ask a question, which is if you have a message.
Thanks for calling. This is Tim Heidecker. Leave a message after the beat.
Wait, but what?
What's the message?
I mean, in the comedy, like if there's a.
Oh, in the comedy specifically?
Yes. Like if there is a message you want to give across.
I don't know. It's not. I didn't write the movie. I didn't direct it. I'm an
I
actor
meant
in
you
it.
in your comedy.
Oh, I thought you meant the
your
movie, the comedy.
your general comedy, in your performance arts and your.
I think it's self-evident.
Which is like to have a good time and laugh.
That's right. It's to have, as they say in Spinal Tap, have a good time all the time, Marty. That's my perspective.
Do you ever feel like there's, like it's lifestyle advertising? Like you could be sending people down a wrong path. Like me, for example, I've been watching your comedy since Tom Goes to the Mayor and whatever, and trying to do.
What about it?
Comedy myself. And, sometimes I wonder if there's really a message in that, and maybe it's better to try to be more humble and be serious instead of like always being sarcastic or.
Well, you don't know who I am in my real life. I mean,
no, I don't. I don't.
You have to. You have to.
Well, I'm asking.
All we're making is diversion, entertainment. It's an expression of it's self-expression. It's things that make us laugh. I think it's a reflection of the culture and the society we live in occasionally, and it's designed to take some of the weight of the world off your shoulders for a period of time during the day. Just chill out.
I agree. No, it does.
What, am I going to be a monk?
It helps me a lot, man.
All right.
I appreciate it.
Thanks, Splash.
Just don't be condescending.
Excuse me?
I just find it condescension a little bit.
Where's the condescension? Where? You name it.
Yeah,
like right now.
Sometimes you talk to people, you might make them sound stupid, or.
Yeah, I do. Well, listen, I'm just exposing the truth.
Well, your truth, yeah.
My truth is the only truth. Wise up.
You don't think it might perpetuate being empty or nihilistic or
yes.
those kinds of things?
It does. It perpetuates that. I think I do bring negativity to this show when the show's not going well and I'm dealing with this terrible fucking tech problems I'm having here. I get into a very bad mood, as anybody would. I always try to end on a high note. I try to be, I try to give good advice to people if they ask it appropriately. I try to be. Doug was saying the other day that my attitude was very positive.
No, I think you have a positive attitude too. Don't get me wrong. I do.
Listen, we just clown around. We're just clowning around, having a good time.
Oh, I agree. I think it's great.
Okay.
And it's funny. And I love Purple Boys.
Thank you.
I love all this stuff.
I love you, and I really do respect you.
I respect you too. And I love to have you cameo in my movie. I had Doug do it.
What movie? Sorry, I'm hanging up because I'm sorry I just cut you off because Skype, for the millionth time today, crashed on me. So, Doug, we have to have a meeting after we go offline today and maybe get to solving this. I do not expect you to have all the answers, but I do expect you to try your best. What if this happens to us when we do our live show?
I feel like I'm off my game. I feel like Skype is broken. I feel just this episode is a disappointment, but that's what's going to happen sometimes.
Sven.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello, mate. You can hear me?
Yes.
Wicked. How you doing?
I do. I'm doing...
Where are you calling from, Sven?
England.
What's up?
Why don't you round up that Prison Paul guy, that Prison Planet guy, round him up, take him off the internet.
How's Brexit, mate?
Oh, it's good. It's good. No shit.
How can I help you today?
Two topics.
Two topics, good.
How's the microphone, by the way?
How's the what?
Telefunken. A vintage Telefunken.
How's the what?
Your microphone, he's asking?
The microphone.
This guy here?
Is that a vintage Telefunken microphone?
No, it's a EV1 or whatever.
Okay, question number 2.
Yeah, the Beatles White Album deluxe thing coming out tomorrow.
Deluxe.
Heard about this?
Yes, of course.
What, they're putting out another album, a deluxe version?
I know.
Now what?
They're not stopping with it. I think, what are they going to do? Because they didn't really do this with their first half of the collection, right? They didn't do this expanded deluxe edition for, Hard Day's Night, Rubber Soul, Revolver. They started this with Peppa.
Yeah.
And now they're going to have to go back for some other anniversary. This is the 50th anniversary of the White Album, and it's got every goddamn take of every song, all the demos, I guess a remastered version of the record.
Remixed.
I mean, I of course love the White Album. I don't know if it's my favorite record. It's one of those where they, say it's a double album. It's very bloated. It's got tracks that maybe on second listen you could, with some time and perspective, you could say, well, you didn't necessarily need to fucking, release that on the record. But, it's got unbelievably classic tunes, So, but when I look at it, it's like the Village Green Preservation Society came out on the same day or the same week. And that record, to me, is a much stronger record. But whatever. Listen to me opining about music and giving criticism to the Beatles, of all people. I love them. I'll probably get that box set and I'll just fawn over. I don't really get box sets, but I got a couple that I think are really remarkable. One is this Village Green Preservation Society. The other one is the Bob Dylan Blood on the Tracks record. And they're both...
Yeah.
I love that. I was totally into it.
Every time they put out one of these reissues with all these extra bonus takes, that's one of the conspiracies I believe in, is that all those extra bonus things are fake. It's the estranged members of Oasis they hired to create these false recordings to sell more Beatles records.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are fake demos. Those aren't real.
I don't know. I can't keep doing this.
Welcome to the Beatles discussion.
I know.
Show.
Listen to something about the Beatles. If you are disappointed in today's show, all I can say is I apologize. There'll be no work done between now and next week to try to fix it. We'll just pray it works better next week.
Just download the old Skype again.
I really wanted to promote the podcast because we were rising up in the ratings.
I know.
And I was feeling very hot about the show. I felt bad about my little name calling last week, but I wanted to come here and clear the air and have a good conversation with some people. It's been a disaster because of Skype and Bill Gates and Microsoft. And
it's definitely not your fault.
No. And
it's not my fault.
But if you do still want to support the show in the long run and know on average it's a fantastic show and a really great opportunity to spend some time with me, rate and review the podcast to continue and subscribe and do all that stuff. Everybody has to participate. Everybody has to make that happen. I think we're just going to wrap it up, Doug, because I can't keep doing this with the Skype where it crashes. I mean, maybe somebody is doxing me. Maybe they're setting up something where they're just flooding the Skype with calls so that it overwhelms it. There's that.
I think I asked somebody, well, what's the solution if Skype's not the answer?
Right.
What do we use then?
Right. Because I love the international quality of the show and everybody all around the world has Skype. Everyone uses it. Anyways, I'll take your solutions offline if you want to send me a tweet or a message, a DM or anything. I'd appreciate it. I'll try to get one more call in here to round out the show. Hopefully a new caller. Austin? Austin, are you there?
Appreciate it. I'll try to get one more call in here to round
Austin, are you there, darling?
Hello?
Yeah, darling, are you there? Are you there?
Go ahead, Austin.
I can barely hear you.
Well, that's on your end.
We can hear you fine. Go ahead.
What's your question? I'll answer it all. Then you can hang up. You ever hear? I'll take my question. I'll take my answer offline.
Take my answer off the air.
I'll take my answer off the air. That's you right now.
What do they do?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, hey. I just woke up and had to do all this Skype, Microsoft shit.
Sorry.
Okay. Question.
And action.
How about what's the best Kinks album?
Village Green. Goodbye.
Get another call,
Okay.
Tim.
Heath. George. George.
Next.
Get
Wow.
that theme music ready because we're about to
Wow.
jump ship. Kurt. All right. Well, listen.
Oh my God.
Worst show of the year.
You got to have a worst one if you're going to have a best one, right, Tim?
Thanks for listening. Thanks to Anthony Needledrop Fantano for calling in. I found no evidence of this guy being a rat, but
Or a worm?
or a worm, or a slug.
Tim, I'm glad that you cleared that up, and you guys can be friends.
If you're not a fan of him, don't watch his reviews. If you're not a fan of me, go away. I don't give a shit anymore. I don't need you. I'm one step away from fully retiring. You hear that, Doug?
Oh, really?
So go away is my message. Leave me alone. But if you love what I do and you appreciate my work, stand by me till the very end.
What's the step you're going to take? What'll drive you over the edge to fully retiring? What
would be the end?
One more worm?
Yeah, one more worm. If one more slug gets in my face about... I was going to bust Anthony because he did something funny in his reaction to me was, I'm a big fan. I liked your early work. And that's like the classic stereotype of the critic who are like, well, I liked his earlier work better. And it's like, that's my life. Everything I do, someone says, well, I don't know about this awesome show. I think Tom Goes to the Mayor was better. Okay, well, go fuck yourself. Then I don't know about Bedtime Story. I don't know about Don Cinema. I think Awesome Show is better. Go away. Shut up. So
Not a lot of people think Tom Goes to the Mayor is better than Awesome Show.
Yeah, we heard it. I heard it all the time.
They're out there.
I stopped watching them when Tom Goes to the Mayor. Once they canceled that, I just moved on. And I'm sorry, everybody, if I sound like a prick and I sound like I am a sensitive artist.
Condescending.
I am a sensitive artist who cares about my work. Not only for me, I work with beautiful people like Doug Lucenhop, Greg Turkington, Eric Wareheim, Eric Natornicola, Dan Longino, Mike Giambra, you name them. Wonderful people who contribute so much.
Great people.
To what I do. And I'm here as an advocate for them and their artistry. And I want to end on a positive note. I pray for all you. I pray every night for you. I go to my prayer closet. Vic sent me this amazing... I'll have to show you this, Doug. We're going to go a little long because I have to just show this to Doug.
We can go long. I mean, we gypped him on some...
I want to show this. Vic sent me this. Hold on. I got a very important...
what did he send you, Tim? What is it?
It is the best. It's Lori from the Jim Baker Show. It's her new show called Life with Lori. But
we don't get this deep into the song, do we? Listen to this part.
Kids and hold up a defense.
Are you watching
that
this?
No weapon formed against you shall prosper. That no weapons formed against
I can do
my
this
husband
thing where I
shall
can share
prosper.
this
That
window.
No weapon formed against my mother. Whoever's
video
in my
capture
life,
window.
that no weapon formed against them shall prosper. That's what a bulwark means, is to be a defense. So between sin and the enemy. So I'm like, well, let me tell you. You'll hear my story little by little because I fell into a lot of sin that the enemy tried to kill, steal, and destroy my life. But God, He had a plan. He had a purpose. Yeah, Satan heard that dedication in October of 1957. But God said,
you got it?
I will see her through. And you know what I really believe, Lori? And she knows this because we talk about it all the time. The prayers of a mother's heart. There is nothing
like
more
it.
powerful than the prayers.
Have I learned that?
You sure
Yes,
have.
I have.
set.
You have too.
You got to see the beginning of this set. Look at.
the ministry. Every time I look around at everything, I'm like, oh, this is all me.
Yes,
And so it literally.
Look at how big that set is. It's so big.
Well, it looks like my house. That's how I have.
Didn't cost us a penny to put this set together.
Exactly.
But it's like it's a $1
But
million set.
she talks about going to
And
her
the
prayer
other
closet.
thing is that I love.
for real?
If
Yeah.
you see this background right here, this is Phoenix, Arizona, where I was born.
All right,
and
that's the
raised.
Life with Lori
40
episode 1
years
up on
in the
YouTube.
desert
Thank you
until
guys so
your dad,
much
my
for
husband, Jim
watching
Pager,
the show
came
today.
and he took me out of the
Thank you for
desert.
I don't think
spending-
that elevated the quality of the show.
No.
Running
Well,
that clip, I think.
No, thank you guys so much for your participation, for your patience with us. It's been a disaster, but sometimes I think you go, I love that bit you did where Skype wasn't working. One more call. Josefina. Josefina Freeberg? Hello? Okay, thank you for listening. And
Force quit.
Force quit.
The show should be called Force Quit.
That's a great title.